Hello friends, this is Raman Gill with your weekly Forex analysis for the week of March 13th, 2016. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. I am not an investment advisor. So if you have any questions about your individual investment needs, I suggest you talk to an investment advisor. Okay, so for the weekly analysis, we will start off with our economic calendar, take a look at what kind of economic news is coming out this week. Then we'll get into the COT data and finally into technical analysis. So let's get started. So some of the fundamental themes for this week that we'll see is it is loaded with central bank statements. We have for the US dollar, we have FOMC statement and the federal funds rate. We're not expecting them to cut the rates. However, it will have an impact on the markets. For the British pound, we have official bank rate and the monetary policy summary. For Bank of Japan, again, we have a monetary policy statement. And then we have, for Swiss franc, we have the LIBOR rate and SNB monetary policy assessment. So last week we saw euro took off. They cut the rate. However, the comments from Draghi helped push the euro up. So this week we'll be looking to see what kind of impact the statements from these central banks have on our trading. So let's go into the calendar and let's take a look at what's going on here. So to start things off with, we have New Zealand dollar. Monday is fairly light on the news, nothing much in the European session or the US session. The first one we have is we have Reserve Bank of New Zealand Governor Wheeler speaking, and then we have a monetary policy meeting minutes for the Australian dollar. And going into the night here, we have monetary policy statement for the Japanese yen, and then Bank of Japan press conference that will have an impact on the market. 8:30 on Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, we have core retail sales, and PPI number for the US. And then further down, we have GDT price index. These are the dairy prices for the New Zealand dollar. On Wednesday, it's a big day. We have average earnings index for the British pound and the claimant count change for the pound here as well. And then going into our New York session, we have manufacturing sales numbers for Canadian dollar, and then we have annual budget for British pound, and then building permits and inflation numbers for the US dollar. And then further down at 2 p.m., we have FOMC economic projections, FOMC statement, and federal funds rate, and then FOMC press conference. Just like the euro, we saw a big impact on the euro because of what Draghi said. We are not expecting the same kind of impact this time because the market is expecting the Fed to actually hold the rates, not increase the rates or cut the rates, just keep them on hold. However, the statement that they make, whether it's dovish or hawkish, will have an impact on the market. So this is definitely something we want to keep an eye on. And then we have the GDP numbers for New Zealand dollar. Further into the Asian session here, we have employment data for Australian dollar. And on Thursday, another central bank for the Swiss franc, we have the LIBOR rate and Swiss National Bank monetary policy assessment. Again, this will have an impact on dollar Swiss or any kind of Swiss pairs here for sure. And then going into the New York session, we have Bank of England, we have monetary policy summary, official bank rate, and official bank rate votes. Again, another central bank, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. Then we have Philly Fed manufacturing index and unemployment claims for the US here. And on Friday, we have inflation, core CPI, core retail sales numbers for Canadian dollar. And then in the New York session, we have preliminary consumer sentiment. And of course, we have FOMC members speaking. So our calendar this week is chock full of a lot of different central bank announcements and interest rate announcements. So we have to be very mindful of that as we are trading this week. So now let's take a look at the COT numbers. We'll start off with the euro COT data here. Now, just to keep in mind, this data is released on Tuesday. So these positions were pre-Draghi. So keep that in mind. So here, as far as euro is concerned, we see that the green line here, it's sloping downwards, which would suggest short euro. The short positions for the euro are actually increasing. And as we can see, the asset managers, even though they had crossed up and they're going back towards the zero number, which is the red line that I'm looking at. So all in all, it looks like the leverage money is actually increasing their short positions, and the asset managers are decreasing their long positions, which basically points to a short euro. However, like I said, this was before the rate announcement and the comments from Draghi. So we'll have to see what have the numbers that come out this Tuesday, because those will reflect the new positions based on the release there. Okay, looking at the British pound, again, the same thing here. These numbers were from last Tuesday, which means we don't have the new numbers which were after Draghi speaking. So these could have changed. However, let's take a look at what happened here. As far as we can see, the leverage money, the green line is actually, it's gone. We have seen an increase in the short pound positions. And as you can see, the dealer positions, which is the long, which is the blue line, have actually gone up. So that would suggest overall we are looking at a short pound based on this COT. Again, we'll have to wait to see if any major changes got made post Draghi. However, we won't know that till next Friday. The numbers will get released on Tuesday, which we will have with us on Friday. Canadian dollar, the leverage money, we see a decrease in the short positions. They have gone from 36 to 32. So this would be a positive for the Canadian dollar, negative for the dollar CAD. So we would expect a dollar CAD to come down. Okay, for Australian dollar, this is looking very bullish. We have asset managers positions had already crossed into positive, and we saw the leverage money positions, which is the green line here, has also crossed into the positive territory here, and those positions, the long positions, are actually increasing now, and as you can see, the dealer short positions are increasing. So all in all, this is very bullish for the Australian dollar. Okay, New Zealand dollar, here we see the leverage money positions have actually crossed into the positive territory here, and the long positions are increasing. So this would suggest a long for the New Zealand dollar as well, based on COT. Now let's take a look at our charts. Here we go. We are looking at Euro US dollar weekly chart. Based on the weekly chart, we see that the price had come down close to that 10800 level and then pushed back up, of course, based on Draghi's comments. And now we see this big long bullish candle for the weekly, for our weekly chart. The weekly chart looks very bullish. This would suggest to a potential move to the upside. So we could potentially expect a pullback into this 110.50 area and then a push to the upside. And if that 1220 level holds, we are looking for, if the price basically starts holding above the 11220 level, we are looking at potentially the 1.1330 and then further into 1380 level. So this is if this 1220 level gets broken, we're looking for a push to the upside. However, this is an important level. So let's take a look at the daily chart. So here we see based on the daily chart, this was very neutral. On Friday, we saw price pull back, and now we could expect the price to come down and test this 1050 level. And if the price holds above this 1050 level, if it's not able to break below the 1050, we'd be looking for a move to the upside, and then we would expect the price to come into resistance at this 1220 level. If the price does manage to break the 1220 level, we will look for a retest and a potential move to the upside. So for now, if the price comes to 1220 level, we'll look for a rejection of this level. However, if it holds above, we're looking for a move to the upside. For now, we're looking for a pullback in 1050. And if this holds, we're looking for a move from 1250 back into this 1220 area. Okay, looking at a pound US dollar here, again on the weekly chart, very, very bullish here. So we could look for a move back into this 14300 level, and if this for 14300 level holds, we're looking for a move back into the highs again. Let's take a look at the daily candle here. This 4300 level is very important. As we can see, the price had reacted at this level on the other side. So we would expect the price to come back here and test this level. If the price holds above this level, we're looking for a move back into the highs over here, potentially into 4450 area. And if this 4450 level gets broken, we could even go into this 4500 area. Again, we have Bank of England, the interest rates and monetary policy statement. So be mindful of that, which will have an impact on how the British pound trades this week. For the Australian dollar, last 2 weeks have been very, very bullish. Our weekly chart points to further bullishness or a move to the upside. So let's go take a look at the daily chart here. So for the daily chart, we have seen this fairly quick move to the upside here. Price spent some time at 74.50 level, but managed to hold above that. And now we are into this 75.60 area. So we could potentially see a pullback into this 74.50 level. And if the price holds above this level, again, we'll be looking for a move to the upside. And if the highs here get broken, the 75.60 or 80 level gets broken, we're looking for a further move to the upside here. 76.50 looks good, and then further up into 77.50 area. So we'll have to see how the price reacts. We're looking for a pullback, and if the price holds above 74.50, that may be a potential long opportunity in the Australian dollar. Okay, the New Zealand dollar here is interesting. This one, based on the weekly chart, this is actually bearish. We see this hanging man pattern here. The price, New Zealand dollar had interest rate cut. Because of that, price had pushed down. And now on the weekly chart, price has closed negative. It has closed bearish. So this, based on the weekly chart, we are looking for a potential move to the downside. Now let's take a look at the daily levels here. So some of the key levels to watch for here, New Zealand dollar will be 68.20 level. If we see the price come into this level and hold below this level, we would be looking for a move back into the 6,700 level. And if the price breaks below the 6,700 level, we're looking for a move back into the 66.14 area. So basically looking for a price to come up here and reject, so we can look for a selling opportunity in this pair. Again, there was interest rate cut. Overall, fundamentally, this pair is not bullish. However, because we do see oil going up, gold has been going up, and as a result, all the commodity currencies have been going up overall as well. However, fundamentally for New Zealand dollar, the fundamentals are not as strong. So we'll be looking to see if we can find a potential selling opportunity here. However, if the price holds above the 68.20 level, we're looking for this 6,900 level back into these highs. And at this level, we may be able to find a potential selling opportunity. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So US dollar CAD, based on the weekly chart, this is very bearish. As you can see, we have seen selling for several weeks now. So we are looking for a further move to the downside here. So in this case, we would be looking for a bit of a push to the upside. So let's go to the daily chart to see where we may be able to find some selling here. This one, 34.20 area, if the price does move back into this level, this would provide us a good selling opportunity. And we're looking for basically if the price holds below this 1.3160 level, we're looking for a move back into 1.3020 level here. So we are looking for pullbacks to basically sell dollar CAD. And especially if the oil prices keep going up this week, we should see dollar CAD come down. So that's all for this week's weekly Forex analysis. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out.